Everybody, welcome back to the channel. So today we got another news commentary about TikTok. So we all seen the recent news that Trump has basically saved TikTok, for that part over a year now. But I think finally we're going to have some buyers, and I'm going to read an article from the Business Insider to give a little bit more detail who's possibly buying TikTok and possibly the ramifications behind what that means for us as United States citizens. Is our data in good hands, or we're looking at more data spying, more usage, more people knowing about our business and what we do online? So let's hop right into it. Let me go ahead and share my screen. Okay, so we got an article straight from the Business Insider. And the article states, here's what we know about who's buying TikTok, U.S. business. This article was released September 26th, so a couple days ago. So here we go. It says, who's grabbing control of TikTok's U.S. assets? Well, a lot of different people. On Thursday, President Donald Trump said Larry Ellison and his company Oracle will be involved in a $14 billion deal to buy TikTok U.S. business. Billionaires Rupert Murdoch, Michael Dell would also play a role, Trump said. Outside that group, a slew of other names have been reported as potentially being in the deal, including the private equity firm Silver Lake Management and MGX, a venture capital firm based in Abu Dhabi. Trump said the consortium of TikTok U.S. owners would include 4 or 5 world-class investors, while Vice President J.D. Vance referred to the buyers as a blue-chip group of investors. ByteDance, TikTok current owner, is also expected to hold a minority stake below 20%, the maximum allowed by the divest or ban law that spurred TikTok's sale. Oracle, which currently works with TikTok on data security, is expected to take on a significant role in the business going forward. The company will audit the app's algorithm, which will be retrained and operated in the United States outside of ByteDance control, while House spokesman Caroline Leavitt said on Monday. Oracle is playing a very big part, Trump said on Thursday. The Chinese government has yet to announce final sign-off on a deal, but Trump said on Thursday that Chinese leader Xi Jinping gave us the go-ahead. A spokesperson for the Chinese Foreign Ministry and said Friday that the parties had earlier reached a basic framework consensus. So here are the key players in the TikTok business going forward. Larry Ellison's Oracle is expected to play a big part. Software giant Oracle will play a big role on TikTok's U.S., Trump said. The company has been named as one of the 3 primary investors taking control of the U.S. spinoff of TikTok, according to reports by CNBC, Reuters, and the New York Times. Prior to the recent deal, Oracle was already working closely with TikTok's U.S. data security, USDS. Oracle has stored Americans' TikTok user data since 2023 as a safeguard for potential data leaks. Oracle will also audit the social media's platform algorithm. Larry Ellison, who doubled his wealth this year and is estimated to be the world's second richest person, is the chairman of co-founder of Oracle and longtime Trump ally. Oracle did not respond to a request for comment. And then we got the next person. Trump said Rupert Murdoch is involved in the deal. It's not yet clear exactly how Rupert Murdoch, the conservative media mogul with a multi-billion-dollar empire, will be involved in TikTok's deal. The Murdoch empire includes media assets such as Fox News, the New York Post, and the Wall Street Journal. On Thursday, when Trump signed the executive order approving TikTok's sale, he said Murdoch will play a part. Trump also mentioned Lachlan Murdoch, Rupert's son, when speaking about the TikTok deal. The Murdochs did not respond to requests for comment. And then we got Michael Dell. Michael Dell is in the mix. Of course, we know who Dell is. Dell Technologies chairman and CEO Michael Dell was also mentioned by Trump as part of the TikTok's deal. He founded Dell in 1984, then known as PCs Limited, and later rebranded it. Dell is one of the richest people in the world. Bloomberg ranks him right under Warren Buffett at $147 billion. Dell did not respond to requests for comment. And then our other potential investors include private equity firm Silver Lake and Abu Dhabi-based VC firm MGX. Oracle, Silver Lake, and MGX will be the main investors in the new TikTok deal, according to reports by CNBC, Reuters, and the New York Times. Silver Lake is a tech-based private equity firm. It currently invests in Klarna, Carta, Dell Technologies, Genies, and Waymo, per the firm's website. Previous investments include Airbnb, Twitter, and Tesla. MGX is a virtual capital firm based in Abu Dhabi. The firm is focused on AI. Sheikh Tahoon Bir Zayed Al Nahyan, a member of Abu Dhabi's royal ruling family, is the firm's chairman. The state-backed fund participated in OpenAI's $6.6 billion investment round in 2024. Silver Lake and MGX did not respond to comment. So the article goes on to state it's not clear how ByteDance's previous investors, including KKR and Sequoia Capital, fit into the deal. ByteDance has numerous investors who get a stake in TikTok. U.S. private equity giant KKR and venture capital firms such as Sequoia Capital and SoftBank have previously invested in ByteDance. Reuters reported, citing an unnamed source, that a group of existing shareholders and TikTok Chinese parent will get part of TikTok's U.S. under the new arrangement. KKR declined to comment. Sequoia and SoftBank did not respond to requests for comment. So that's pretty much it. So you can see that they're pretty much divvying up the entire TikTok US. And I think going forward, that's going to mean a lot of things for people here in America, especially us that use TikTok in America. I think going forward, our data is basically open season now. Any social media, we already knew Meta and Facebook, our data was basically being sold to different third-party companies. But now that Oracle is going to have a full reign on data, I think anything you say outside of the narrative of what the government or these companies want you to say, I think you're going to be punished for it. You're going to be pushed down in the algorithm. So if you have an alternative opinion, it doesn't matter which side you're on, left, right, different opinions are going to be pushed down. I think that's going to be something going forward. And I think one of the main things that TikTok was so open and a good platform, even if it was Chinese owned by the government, China actually allowed you to get on there and talk about different viewpoints, as long as you weren't speaking bad about Chinese government and Chinese policies. I don't think they really cared about what happened in America, because whatever you guys spoke about, if it was dissenting, bad or whatever, it was just good for them. It was just more division for them. And so the Chinese government didn't really have a stake in what either side talked about. If you were on the left or if you were on the right, if you had an alternative opinion to anybody, the Chinese government really didn't care. They were just basically collecting your data to basically see, okay, how is this responding? How is this responding to certain situations, certain different demographics, certain groups? So I really think now that we are finally having a U.S.-based TikTok, I think it's going to end up becoming more so kind of like Instagram, to where you can only talk about certain things. Like on Instagram now, the only content that actually gets views is, I hate to say it, is OF, or if it's not OF, then it's lifestyle. And I hope TikTok doesn't become the exact same thing. I hope it still stays an open platform to where you can actually actively have other people have different viewpoints. But from what I'm seeing right now, this is really looking like a coordinated attack from the right to get back to the left. And that's not a good thing, because, of course, in my opinion, I think the left has been on a rampant tangent over the past couple of years that, you know, they've pushed conservative media, conservative voices down, and they've demonified conservative voices. But I think now that the conservative right, they're basically making their move to position themselves as the number one talking points. And I'm not saying that's necessarily a bad thing, but I'm not saying it's a good thing as well, because now we're going to have even more division in a time where we shouldn't be divided at all. We should be coming together, because I think both these sides are doing this in cohesiveness behind the scenes. I think Democrats and Republicans have always been working together to just create division, because you got to understand, a lot of these people are very rich. They do not identify with the average American citizen. They don't go through what we go through on a daily basis. They don't have to count their pennies. They don't have to look out for a recession. They don't have to worry about something going wrong in their day-to-day. Whatever happens with them, they're covered. They can take care of themselves, period. So I don't think these people really have our best benefit at heart, even though they'll claim they will, even though they'll play certain opposing sides against each other and say, well, we're for this side, we're for this side. I think at the end of the day, the rich are for the rich. It doesn't matter what side you identify. I think most of what we observe in the political theater, especially with companies, especially with the government, is just theater. It's a show. It's a perfectly coordinated script to make people believe that this person or this group is for our side. And I think we're starting to see that now because it's always a pendulum effect, I'd say. You have one side that goes back and forth, back and forth. One side has the power, then this side has the power. But ultimately what it's doing for everybody is stripping power away from the citizens. It's stripping power away from us, from people that have a voice, that have their own opinion. And so, of course, they're going to use one side to make the other side feel basically ostracized. You're going to feel like you're cornered. And so I think now that you have Larry Ellison and then you have Rupert Murdoch, basically guys are men that they really don't care about free speech. They don't really care about your opinions or what you think and how you feel. It's more so about the money and more so about if you align with their ideology. I think that's what it boils down to. But it's going to be something interesting to see right now because especially with MGX coming into play, I think MGX is a new VC firm out of Abu Dhabi. I don't know much about them. I think they were founded in 2024, but they are controlled by the Abu Dhabi royal family, and I don't know anything about the Abu Dhabi royal family, so I won't speak ill on them at all, but I mean, that's also concerning when you have a royal family that's intermingled in United States policy and United States corporation. But it remains to be seen what's going to happen with TikTok in the next couple of years, maybe even the next couple of months, because like Larry Ellison said and Oracle said, they're going to do an audit of the algorithm, which means are they potentially going to change the algorithm? Are they going to potentially change how we as creators are reaching out to people and making content? And the question remains to be seen. Are we going towards a future more of less free speech? And over the recent years, since COVID, since C-19, since the lockdowns, free speech was really challenged back in those days. But the question remains, are we going to go to a future to where we can actually have opposing viewpoints without being punished for it? But it remains to be seen. But for me, I'm not worried right now, but there's like a little bit of fear that's starting to dwell up, and I think more so people are starting to see it that, okay, these men are very powerful men. I mean, especially this guy, Larry Ellison, controlling the majority of TikTok, and he already controls most of our data. He already controls pretty much all the data in the United States of America, because I think Larry Ellison also has most of the ownerships in a lot of the databases that operate in the United States. So we're going to have to see. We're going to have to see what plays out. But my only concern is, TikTok US may be coming along, and the question is, how many people will stay on TikTok because of it? Because now it's not going to be a free and open platform that allows you to basically voice your opinion. I think, like I said, more people's opinions are going to be pushed down. I think a lot of people that are more liberal on the left, their opinions are going to be, I think, really blacklisted. If you have any counter opinion, if you aren't an already established creator that has their fan base, I think it's going to be a very, very difficult time for you to build a following. But also on the flip side, if you're a conservative and you're promoting conservative values, I think maybe in the next 3 to 4 years, this is your season. I think this is your season to actually build content, grow, and actually build a following that the platform will actually cater to you and actually help you expand and reach other people. But after that, the question remains after. So we always have to think about after. Trump is in place now. Yes, the Republicans have control of pretty much everything now. But what happens after? So that's going to be the linchpin in what comes forward. And I think in the next 3 to 4 years, we're going to probably see either free speech expand or we're going to see free speech continue to dwindle. And we're living in a very, very uncertain time, I'd say, especially when it concerns to free speech, especially when you see all the things that are going on in Great Britain right now. And I have another article about that I'm going to read later. But it's very concerning. It's very concerning to see all the things that are happening worldwide. And I know a lot of people are worried, but of course you always shouldn't worry because, we're man and we don't have control over these things. God is going to take care of everything at the end of the day. So, but I think that was the quick video that I wanted to get my point across, guys. And I'm going to keep it short and simple, but that was it. And let me know what you think. Like, share, subscribe, and comment. What do you think about this? Are you going to stay on TikTok because of this? Or are you going to try to find another place to move to? Because, like I said, Instagram is dead. There's no growth on Instagram anymore. And I think a lot of creators are starting to see that. If you aren't doing OF, if you aren't doing lifestyle content, or if you aren't already established, Instagram really isn't a place to grow their audience. And I've seen they've tried to do different things, especially I think they got a new feature called like live test or whatever. If you can actually put a reel up and it reaches outside your followers, but I've tried it and it's not that great. And I think the algorithm is still going to be the algorithm at the end of the day, because that's what Instagram has gotten used to, and they've already gotten used to getting ad money from whatever influencers that are already popular. So I hope TikTok doesn't become like Instagram, to where it's just certain niches can get growth. But remains to be seen. We'll see. But anyway, that's it. Like, share, subscribe, comment, and let me know if you guys are going to stay on TikTok or you're going to try to find someplace new. Myself, I'm going to try to play it out a little bit to see what happens, see how the algorithm's working. But if need be, I think eventually we need to start looking into alternative social media platforms. And if need be, we need to try to find new, if there are other people out there that will create new social media platforms that are more open, that are more agreeable to free speech on both sides. So anyway, thank you guys. I'll see you guys later. Peace.